The situation in the Democratic Republic of Congo remains a source of major concern, while violence and threats to civilians are no longer concentrated in the east of the country. Well, that was the message delivered to the UN Security Council by the Secretary General's Special Representative and head of the peacekeeping mission to that country, who warned, however, that the uncertain political situation was exacerbating a resurgence of violence, often along ethnic lines. Now, the implementation of a 31st of December political agreement on a transitional government ahead of elections by the end of 2017 has also stalled.
A political agreement signed between the major parties late last year envisioned a period of transition followed by elections before the end of 2017, allowing incumbent President Joseph Kabila to stay in power despite his official second term ending last year. But the UN has warned that bottlenecks have developed in the implementation of that deal that, given the escalating tensions in the country, needed to be unblocked expeditiously.
President Kabila's failure to step down when his mandate expired has seen a spike in violence, with hundreds of deaths reported across the country.
The resurgence of violence in certain areas in the rest of the country has been exacerbated by the uncertain political situation, as well as the manipulation of grievances for political ends and the provision of support to armed militia by some political actors. The increasing use of self-defense militia acting along ethnic lines points to a growing sense of insecurity and uncertainty.
Filled with rebel fighters have been identified in Congo's Kasai Central province, as the UN warns that human rights violations have increased some 30% in 2016 compared to the previous year.
I have encouraged the government of the DRC to conduct thorough investigations and to ensure that the perpetrators of these acts are held to full account.
He said the UN's main strategic objective would now be to support the establishment of timely, peaceful and credible elections in the months ahead. The Secretary General has appealed to the Council to deploy 2 additional police units to the country as a result. Sherwin Brycepease, SABC News, New York.
Ousted South Korean President Park Geun-hye left prosecutors' offices after being questioned in an investigation into a corruption scandal that ended a presidency. Well, Park did not respond to the reporters' questions as she emerged from the building after nearly 22 hours in there.
22 hours after she entered the prosecutor's office, disgraced former South Korean President Park Geun-hye is escorted home under tight security. The ousted leader refusing to speak to journalists early on Wednesday morning, following a marathon 14-hour grilling over the corruption scandal that saw her kicked out of power nearly 2 weeks ago. Park was questioned for the first time since she was officially impeached and now has none of the immunity that shielded her from prosecutors for months. She faces a possible 10 years or more if convicted of taking bribes from business leaders, including Samsung boss J.Y. Lee, who currently awaits his fate in a jail cell. Park is accused of funneling millions of dollars from big businesses into organisations set up by her close friend Choi Soon-sil. It's not yet clear whether she'll be called back for more questioning or whether prosecutors will seek an arrest warrant from the court to detain her.
North Korea meanwhile has nothing to fear from any US move to broaden its sanctions that are aimed at cutting it off from the global financial system. Now, North Korea says it will pursue a